Okay, so this tutorial is going to show you how to add questions into a question bank, or make questions in a question bank in Quizzes.Next. So before I showed you how you can add a question and then add it to a question bank. Okay, so this time, once we have a question bank created, we're just going to add questions straight into the question bank that we can later, at a later date, add into a quiz. Okay, so you notice we're on our build page in Quizzes.Next. We've already added a question. We could add more questions here if we wanted. We could add instructions. You can see that we can look at our item banks here, so we can pull up our item banks, and I can view those here. Here's all the different item banks that we've created. You'll notice up here by this return button, there are these three little dots, these three snowman dots. So in this case, I'm going to go ahead and click on those, and I'm going to click on Manage Item Banks. So this Item Banks button allows me to view my item banks. If I go to Manage Item Banks, this takes me to a place where I can also see my banks, but then I also have some additional features. Okay, so I'm going to come down here to my months item bank that I created previous, and now you'll notice something slightly different than you did before. There's this button here called New. So this would allow me to add questions into this item bank that I can then put in my quiz at a later date. So if I click New, you can see it just brings up the different question types. So I'll just go and do a multiple choice real fast just for fun. Okay, so notice I want to go to a question stem. So I'll just put which month comes after January. Okay, and I'll go make, goodness gracious, it helps if I can spell. Okay, and then we'll put that one in there just for fun. Hopefully people know that, and we'll change that to be the correct one. So anyway, you've seen that I've created this question. You can see the options are here. I can add additional answers, just like I can with any other multiple choice question in Quizzes.Next. I can do those here. When I'm done, I need to make sure I set the points if it's not already. Okay. So I can go ahead and hit done. Okay, so now I've added an additional question. So here it is right there, multiple choice item, which month comes after January. I could duplicate that here just like I could before. I can delete the item, I can edit the item. This is just expanding the details. I can see the whole entire question. I can actually see when it was last updated if I really wanted to, and I can close that. Okay, so if I hit return, now it's going to take me back to the build. If I wanted to add that question, I then could. Okay, because then I could just go to my item banks. Okay, I could go here to months, and then if I click on this plus sign, I could add that particular question. If I close item banks, there's my question right there. Okay, multiple choice is worth 1 point. Okay, it shows the correct answer. So now I have just added a quiz from a quiz bank and made a new question in a question bank. But I had to go up to these three little dots up here on the top, these three snowman dots. I have to go into this, manage item banks. I can't just click on this item banks. This button allows you to view the different items in the item banks and then put them in your quiz. In order to build questions into question banks, you have to go up here to these three snowman buttons, go in here to manage item banks, which then kicks you over to this screen. And here is where you can actually go in and actually add new questions to your quiz by clicking on this button right here.